Welcome, dear listener. You have arrived at a quiet threshold, a gentle crossing between the noise of the day and the calm of the night. Here, you are invited to rest, to soften your thoughts, and to drift slowly into stillness. Tonight, we will travel through the hidden mysteries of the solar system, not as explorers racing through space, but as quiet witnesses, floating peacefully among ancient rhythms and silent orbits. At the heart of this journey burns the sun, a living star, a vast ocean of fire, warmth, and cosmic memory. It is more than light. It is time itself, breathing. Before we begin, if this space brings you comfort, consider supporting the channel by subscribing and allowing this calm to return to you night after night. Your presence here already matters more than you know. Now, dim the lights. Let the room grow quiet. Allow your body to rest heavily wherever it lies. Take a slow breath in and let it go. The journey is about to begin. Far beyond the restless surface of daily thought, there exists a deeper clock, one not measured in minutes or hours, but in orbits, in gravity, in the slow turning of celestial bodies through endless dark. As your breathing begins to slow, imagine yourself drifting gently away from Earth, not leaving it behind, but rising softly above it, as though gravity itself has decided to loosen its grip just for you. Below you, the planet turns in silence. Clouds curl like pale thoughts dissolving. Oceans reflect faint starlight. There is no urgency here, no destination to reach. You are simply floating, suspended in the vast calm of space. Ahead of you lies the solar system, not as a diagram or a lesson, but as a living architecture of balance and motion. Each planet follows its path, not by choice, but by trust. They surrender endlessly to gravity, and in doing so, they never fall. They dance. At the center of it all, the sun glows. From this distance, it does not burn, it hums, a low, constant resonance that seems to vibrate through the emptiness itself. This is the soundless heartbeat of fusion, hydrogen becoming helium, matter becoming light, pressure becoming warmth. Every second, deep within the sun's core, unimaginable forces press inward and outward at once, locked in perfect equilibrium, a quiet miracle, repeating without effort. As you drift closer, you begin to sense that the sun is not chaotic fire, but structured serenity, layers upon layers, each with its own role, its own tempo. The core, where creation happens slowly and relentlessly. The radiative zone, where light itself takes thousands of years to find its way outward, scattering, reflecting, forgetting where it began. The convective zone, where heat rises and falls like breath, circulating energy toward the surface. Nothing rushes here. Even light is patient. The sun teaches a hidden lesson, that power does not require haste, that endurance can be gentle, that the most transformative forces in the universe work quietly, unseen, deep within. As you float near the sun's warmth, notice how your own body responds. Muscles soften. The space behind your eyes grows dark and wide. Thoughts that once demanded attention now feel distant, unimportant, like small satellites losing orbit. The sun does not ask you to think. It asks you to feel warmth and rest. Around you, the planets continue their endless paths. Mercury whispers close to the sun, locked in extremes of heat and cold, teaching resilience. Venus turns slowly, wrapped in clouds, reminding us that beauty and intensity often coexist. Earth spins with life and water and breath, unaware of how fragile and miraculous its balance truly is. Farther out, Mars drifts in quiet patience. Jupiter looms vast and protective, its gravity a shield. Saturn's rings trace ancient music. Uranus and Neptune dream at the edges, cold and blue, carrying the memory of the solar system's birth. Each world holds secrets, but none demand your attention now. They simply exist. and in their existence, they give you permission to do the same. You are not required to solve the mysteries of the universe tonight. You are allowed to rest within them. The sun continues to burn, not violently, but faithfully. It has done so for billions of years, and it will continue long after this moment has passed. Its light reaches across space, across time, arriving gently at your closed eyes as warmth on your skin, as energy in your cells, as the quiet rhythm of circadian sleep. Even now, your body remembers the sun. Every cell carries ancient starlight. Every breath is connected to this endless fire. And knowing this, you can let go. Let your thoughts loosen their grip. Let the weight of the day drift outward, dissolving into the dark between planets. Let yourself become still. You are safe in this cosmic night, held by gravity, warmed by distant fire, drifting peacefully within a system that has never forgotten how to move in harmony. Rest now. The sun keeps watch. As you continue to drift, the warmth of the sun slowly fades into a softer presence, like a memory that lingers even after a touch has passed. You are still within the solar system, still held by its quiet order, but now your awareness begins to widen. Space around you feels less like emptiness and more like a vast, gentle ocean, dark, deep, and endlessly calm. Here, there is no up or down, no forward or back, only motion without effort. The sun remains behind you, steady and patient, its light stretching outward in invisible waves. These waves carry not only warmth, but time itself. Every photon traveling through space is a messenger from the past, a soft reminder that the universe moves slowly and that nothing is ever truly rushed. As your breathing becomes deeper and more regular, imagine yourself floating along one of these rays of sunlight, not speeding, but gliding. The light does not hurry. It accepts the long way. It weaves gently between worlds, brushing the surfaces of planets, warming dust, waking sleeping ice. You pass near Mercury again, and this time, you notice its silence, locked in its orbit, turning the same face toward the sun. For long stretches of time, Mercury exists in extremes, yet it does not resist them. It teaches a quiet lesson that even harsh conditions can be endured when motion is trusted, when resistance is released. Drifting onward, you approach Venus, veiled in thick clouds. Beneath them, the planet turns slowly, deliberately, as though time itself moves differently there. Venus reminds you that slowness is not weakness, that to move gently, even through intensity, is a form of grace. Your thoughts, once layered and restless, now feel like those clouds present, but no longer heavy. They pass without pulling you in. Ahead, Earth glows softly, wrapped in blues and whites. From here, there are no borders, no noise, no urgency, just a fragile sphere turning in perfect balance. You sense the deep intelligence of its cycles, night following day, sleep following wakefulness, rest following effort. This rhythm exists within you too. Your heart slows slightly, syncing with something older than thought. Your breath finds a natural pace, unforced and steady. Like Earth, you are allowed to rest because tomorrow will come on its own. As you float past, Earth does not call you back. It simply continues its turn, trusting gravity, trusting time. Beyond it, Mars appears quiet and distant, a world of waiting. Its surface holds the memory of ancient rivers, of water that once flowed freely. Mars teaches patience, that even when change pauses, meaning remains. Farther still, Jupiter emerges, vast and protective. Its gravity bends space around it, catching wandering objects, shielding the inner worlds from chaos. You feel a sense of safety here, as though the solar system itself is watching over you. You do not have to guard yourself tonight. The universe already does. Saturn follows, its rings suspended like frozen music. Each particle of ice and stone moves in harmony, never colliding, never lost. They show you that even fragments can belong to something beautiful, Even scattered thoughts can settle into order when given time. Your body grows heavier now, while your mind grows lighter. The two are no longer in conflict. They are learning to rest together. Uranus and Neptune drift at the edges, cold and blue, dreaming in silence. Their distance reminds you that it is okay to let things be far away. Not everything must be held close. Not every thought deserves your energy. The solar system breathes as one, a quiet, endless inhale, an exhale of gravity and motion. And you are part of it, even now, lying still. The sun's influence reaches you again, not as brightness, but as reassurance. It will rise and set without your help. The planets will continue their paths. The universe does not need you to stay awake. You are allowed to sleep. Let your awareness soften further. Let images blur and fade. Let the gentle dark behind your eyes grow deeper. There is nothing left to understand tonight, only something to surrender to. Rest within the hidden order of the solar system. Drift within its calm. Sleep peacefully, knowing that the sun and all its silent companions will continue their watch. The darkness around you deepens, not into emptiness, but into something soft and protective, like a vast cosmic blanket drawn gently across your awareness. You are no longer traveling outward. Instead, you are drifting inward, into the quieter layers of the solar system, where motion slows and silence becomes rich with meaning. Here, space feels older, calmer, as though time itself has decided to rest. Far beyond the orbits of the planets lies a region rarely imagined, a place of subtle influence rather than visible form. The heliosphere surrounds the solar system, like a breath held gently around a flame. It is created by the sun's solar wind, a constant, invisible outflow of charged particles, streaming outward in all directions, carrying the sun's presence far beyond its light. This wind is not fierce. It is steady, a reminder that even the sun expresses itself through persistence, not force. As you float within this vast boundary, you sense how protected everything feels. The heliosphere deflects much of the harsh radiation from interstellar space, acting as a quiet guardian. You are resting inside a cocoon shaped by fire and motion, yet experienced only as peace. Your own body mirrors this protection. Skin, breath, bone, and heartbeat form gentle boundaries, keeping you safe while you rest. Nothing needs to cross them now. Nothing needs your attention. Beyond this region lies the Kuiper Belt, a distant ring of icy bodies, remnants from the solar system's earliest days. Ancient fragments drift here slowly, carrying memories of formation and collapse, of dust becoming worlds. They do not rush to become anything else. They simply remain. Let this teach you something simple and kind. You do not need to resolve every unfinished thought tonight. Some things are allowed to remain incomplete, resting quietly at the edges of awareness. As your breathing deepens, imagine each exhale drifting outward like solar wind, carrying away tension, worry, and effort. Each inhale returns softly, warmed by the sun's distant presence, bringing calm instead of thought. The sun itself feels different now. No longer a visible sphere, it becomes a steady influence. Gravity without weight, warmth without heat, light without brightness. You are aware of it, not through sight, but through trust. Deep within the sun, fusion continues, as it always has. Hydrogen nuclei merge, releasing energy so gradually that it takes thousands of years to reach the surface. This teaches one of the solar system's most hidden mysteries, that the light warming your face tonight began its journey long before memory, long before language, long before you were born, and yet it arrives right on time. So too does rest. You do not need to chase sleep. Sleep is already moving toward you, slowly, patiently, like light rising through the sun's layers. It is finding its way through resistance, scattering through thought, softening as it goes. Your muscles loosen further. The jaw releases. The space between your thoughts widens, until silence begins to bloom naturally, without effort. In this silence, you may sense something subtle, a feeling of belonging, of being part of a system that knows how to balance itself. The solar system does not fear the dark. It was born from it. Darkness here is not absence, but origin. The sun will one day change. Billions of years from now, it will expand, then shed its outer layers, leaving behind a quiet core. Even stars know how to let go. Even fire learns to rest. And knowing this, your own need to hold on softens. There is nothing you must protect tonight, nothing you must finish, nothing you must be. Just as planets trust their orbits, you can trust this moment, just as the sun trusts its slow burning. You can trust your body's wisdom. Drift now, deeper into stillness. Let awareness blur. Let words fade into feeling. You are floating inside a gentle cosmic shelter, wrapped in warmth that does not demand wakefulness. Sleep is no longer something ahead of you. It is already here. The sense of drifting begins to soften even further, until movement itself feels unnecessary. You are no longer traveling through space. Space is moving around you, slowly, gently, as if the universe has decided to carry you, so you no longer have to carry yourself. Here, the solar system feels less like a collection of objects, and more like a single breathing presence. Gravity becomes the quiet guide, not the force that pulls, but the force that holds. It binds planets to the sun, moons to planets, dust to rings, and thoughts to rest. Gravity does not rush. It waits. It trusts that everything will return to where it belongs. You feel this same pull within your own body, not downward, but inward, a gentle invitation to settle more deeply into whatever supports you now. The surface beneath you becomes warmer, heavier, safer. Muscles that once held the day together finally release their duty. The sun's gravity reaches far beyond its visible light. Even here, even now, you are within its embrace. It reminds you that connection does not require closeness. Influence does not require effort. Presence can be silent. Around the sun, the planets continue their eternal motion, but their paths are so familiar, so stable, that they feel almost still. This stability is one of the solar system's greatest hidden mysteries. Not chaos, but consistency. Not randomness, but rhythm. Your body recognizes this rhythm. Heartbeats fall into a slower cadence. Breath smooths itself without instruction. The nervous system begins to understand that nothing is being asked of it. There are no signals to chase, no problems to solve. In the space behind your eyes, images begin to dissolve. Thoughts lose their edges. They no longer arrive as sentences, but as soft impressions that fade before they fully form. This is the same way the sun's surface behaves. From afar, it appears calm, but up close, it is alive with slow motion. Granules rising and falling, plasma circulating like a vast, luminous ocean. Movement without urgency, activity without stress. The sun does not worry about burning out. It does not count its seconds. It simply continues, moment by moment, perfectly balanced between collapse and expansion. You too are allowed to exist in this balance. Far away, comets drift along elongated paths, spending most of their existence in deep darkness before briefly touching the sun's warmth. They do not fear the cold. They carry it patiently, knowing that warmth will return when the time is right. If there are parts of you that feel distant or forgotten, let them rest like comets now. They do not need attention tonight. They are not lost. They are simply waiting. The solar system hums with inaudible music, frequencies of motion, resonance, and time. Though you cannot hear it, your body feels it. Cells respond to cycles older than thought. Sleep itself is one of these ancient rhythms, shaped by the rise and fall of the sun across countless generations. Even now, your biology remembers starlight. As awareness continues to soften, you may notice brief moments where nothing is happening at all. No image, No word, just a gentle blankness. These moments are not gaps, they are doorways. Each time your mind slips into this quiet, sleep draws closer, wrapping itself around you like orbit around a planet. Inevitable, gentle, kind. You are not falling asleep. You are being held into sleep. The sun remains steady, at the center of everything, not watching, not demanding, simply existing. Its constancy gives permission to all things to rest when they need to. Let yourself follow that permission now. There is no need to listen closely anymore. No need to remember what comes next. The journey continues, whether you are awake to it or not. Drift deeper, sink softly, rest within the quiet gravity of the solar system. The quiet has grown so complete that even the idea of direction begins to dissolve. You are no longer aware of where you are in space, only that you are safe within it. The solar system is no longer something you observe. It has become an atmosphere, a slow, enveloping presence that surrounds thought itself. Here, time loosens. Seconds stretch wide and gentle, like light spreading through fog. The future feels distant and unimportant. The past has softened into something neutral, almost kind. What remains is a deep, steady now, supported by the same forces that have guided planets for billions of years. At the heart of this stillness, the sun continues its quiet work. In its core, gravity presses inward while energy pushes outward, perfectly balanced. This balance is not fragile. It is resilient. It is held through storms, through eruptions, through ages of change. Your own body understands this kind of balance more than your thoughts ever could. Without instruction, it lowers its guard. Muscles sink further into rest. The weight of your limbs becomes pleasant, almost distant, as if they belong to gravity more than to you. The boundary between your body and the space around it grows indistinct. You are resting the way planets rest, by staying exactly where you are, far from the sun's surface. Magnetic fields twist and stretch, forming vast invisible loops. These fields guide energy, shaping solar winds, protecting space nearby. They are unseen, yet essential. So too are the unseen supports in your life. The breath that continues without effort, the heart that keeps time gently, the systems within you that know how to heal while you sleep. You do not have to supervise them tonight. Beyond the planets, beyond even the icy edges of the solar system, the sun's influence fades slowly into interstellar space. But it never ends abruptly. It thins, softens, blends. There is no sharp boundary between what belongs and what does not. Let this soften the boundaries in your mind. There is no strict line between being awake and being asleep. There is only a gradual blending, a gentle merging. You are already crossing it. Thoughts now appear like distant stars, faint, scattered, no longer demanding meaning. You may notice them briefly, then lose them entirely. This is not forgetting. It is release. The sun has burned through unimaginable spans of time without attachment. It has illuminated worlds, warmed oceans, shaped life, and yet it does not cling to any of it. It gives continuously without holding on. You can do the same now. Let go of the need to follow every thought. Let go of the effort to listen carefully. Let go of the idea that sleep must be achieved. Sleep is already unfolding, the way night unfolds across a rotating world. Your breathing has become so gentle, it almost feels like the universe is breathing for you. In and out, slow and quiet. Each breath, a small orbit, returning again and again to calm. In this depth of rest, the solar system feels infinite and intimate at the same time, vast beyond comprehension, yet perfectly tuned to allow moments like this. A single being, resting, untroubled, supported by ancient fire, an invisible force. Nothing is required of you now. Nothing is expected. Nothing is missing. The sun continues to glow at the center of all this quiet. Not bright, not loud, simply present. Its endless fire no longer feels like energy, but like reassurance. You are allowed to disappear into rest for a while. The universe will continue without you, and it will welcome you back when you wake. Drift now, deeper still, into the soft, dark rhythm of sleep. There is a sense now that even listening is optional. Words arrive more slowly, like echoes traveling across a vast distance, softened by time before they reach you. You are resting at the threshold where awareness becomes weightless, where the mind no longer needs to hold its shape. Here, the solar system feels ancient beyond measure. Long before there were names for planets or stories about stars, before eyes learned to look upward, the sun was already here, igniting from a collapsing cloud of dust and gas, awakening into fire through gravity alone. No intention, no struggle, just a natural unfolding. This is one of the deepest hidden mysteries of the universe. That creation does not require effort. It happens because conditions allow it to happen. Sleep works the same way. As your body settles fully, you are not doing anything to fall asleep. You are simply allowing the conditions for rest to be met. Warmth, safety, stillness, time. The sun's energy, born in its core, takes an impossibly long journey outward. Light collides, scatters, loses direction, forgets its origin, until at last it reaches the surface and flows freely into space. This long passage is not a delay, it is a transformation. Your thoughts are making a similar journey now. They slow, they soften, they lose their sharpness and urgency. What reaches the surface of your awareness is no longer thought, but feeling. A gentle sense of calm, of floating, of being suspended in something vast and benevolent. Somewhere in the distance, solar flares arc briefly and fade. Even the sun releases excess energy when it needs to. It does not hold tension forever. You do not need to either. If any last fragments of the day still flicker in your mind, imagine them as tiny sparks, rising and dissolving harmlessly into the dark. They are not problems anymore. They are simply remnants of motion, fading on their own. The planets continue their silent agreement with gravity. None of them question their path. None of them resist the dark side of their orbit. Night is not a mistake. It is half of balance. Your own night has arrived. The boundary between your body and sleep has grown so thin that it is almost gone. Sensation fades into comfort. Awareness drifts into something slower, deeper, quieter than thought. You are not alone here. Every living thing, shaped by the sun, eventually learns this rhythm. Activity and rest, light and dark, waking and sleep. It is written into cells, into hormones, into the quiet timing of the brain itself. The sun sets not because it is tired, but because the world turns and you rest. Not because you have failed to stay awake, but because it is time to turn inward. Let the turning happen. Let the mind roll gently away from the light of thinking and into the shadow of dreams. Nothing waits for you there, except softness. The solar system does not demand awareness to continue. Its harmony does not depend on observation. You can disappear into sleep completely, and everything will remain exactly as it should be. Your breath now is barely a movement. Your heartbeat, a distant rhythm. Your thoughts, no more than a faint glow behind closed eyes. The sun's endless fire has become a lullaby without sound, a steady assurance that warmth, life, and morning will return in their time. For now, there is only rest, only darkness that comforts rather than hides, only silence that holds rather than empties, only sleep, opening gently beneath you. You may already be dreaming, and if not, you soon will be. As the universe around you grows quieter, something subtle begins to change. The feeling of travel softens, and the sense of distance dissolves into warmth. You are no longer moving through space as an observer. Instead, space itself seems to be breathing around you, slow and unhurried, like a great cosmic lung expanding and relaxing. Ahead, the sun no longer appears as a distant star. Its presence becomes enveloping, calm, and deeply ancient. There is no blinding brightness here, only a golden hush, a sense of steady existence that feels older than thought and kinder than memory. You drift closer, not toward the surface, but inward, into the idea of the sun rather than its shape, into its inner silence. At the very heart of the sun lies a place no eye has ever seen directly. The core is not loud. It is not chaotic. It is dense, pressurized, and astonishingly calm. Here, hydrogen atoms come together under unimaginable gravity, merging into helium in a process that releases pure energy. This is nuclear fusion, the quiet engine of starlight. Yet nothing explodes, nothing rushes. The sun creates light the way sleep creates dreams. Slowly, naturally, without effort. Each moment, deep in that core, energy is born. But it does not escape immediately. It begins a long, wandering journey outward, bouncing from particle to particle, losing all sense of direction or urgency. Some of the light warming your body tonight began this journey tens of thousands of years ago. Imagine that. Light that started moving before human language, before cities, before memory, arriving now, gently, as warmth on your skin. Your own thoughts begin to mirror this process. They too lose their urgency. They scatter softly, no longer moving in straight lines. They slow, collide, soften, and gradually dissolve into something simpler. Feeling, the sun's inner regions are layered like a lullaby. Above the core lies the radiative zone, where light drifts endlessly, patient and unafraid of time. This region teaches a profound, hidden lesson. Progress does not require speed. Transformation does not require struggle. You feel your breath deepen as this truth settles into you. Above that, the convective zone rises and falls in great, glowing currents. Heat moves upward. Coolness sinks downward, all in gentle circulation. It is not tension that drives this motion, but balance. Your body understands this language perfectly. Breath rises, breath falls. Wakefulness gives way to rest. You are not failing to stay awake. You are succeeding at letting go. As you rest within the sun's inner silence, you realize something important. The sun is not burning itself away in desperation. It is not racing toward an end. It is calmly converting matter into light, moment by moment, trusting time to carry it forward. And you can trust time too. The weight of the day loosens its hold. Muscles soften without instruction. The space between thoughts widens until silence begins to appear naturally, like darkness between stars. There is no need to understand any of this. Understanding belongs to daylight. This moment belongs to rest. The sun continues its work without awareness. Your body continues its healing without effort. Sleep continues its approach without being summoned. You are safe within this vast, glowing calm, wrapped in a star's ancient patience, drifting deeper into night. The light continues outward, the thoughts continue inward, and somewhere between them, you rest. As the warmth of the sun's inner silence settles fully around you, another sensation emerges, a feeling of being gently held in place, not restrained, not confined, but supported. This is gravity, experienced not as force, but as trust. You are no longer drifting freely. You are resting within an invisible architecture, shaped by mass and motion, older than memory. The solar system reveals itself now not as a collection of moving objects, but as a slow, deliberate breath, an inhale and exhale measured in orbits. At the center of this breath, the sun remains steady. It does not chase the planets. It does not pull violently. Its gravity is a constant invitation, a silent agreement that says stay, and the planets respond by circling endlessly, never colliding, never escaping. This balance has endured for billions of years. Your body recognizes this immediately. There is a deep intelligence in being held without effort, Muscles begin to release, not because you tell them to, but because they feel permission to stop working. The surface beneath you seems to rise slightly, as though gravity itself has adjusted to meet you. Around the sun, Mercury traces its swift, tight orbit. It moves quickly, yet never anxiously. Speed does not mean urgency here. It is simply Mercury's nature. Venus follows, slower, wrapped in thick clouds, turning almost lazily through time. Earth spins with measured grace, day and night, exchanging places like gentle hands passing a torch. Each orbit is different. None are wrong. You begin to sense that your own rhythms do not need to match anyone else's. Some nights, you fall asleep quickly. Some nights, you drift slowly. Both belong. Both are allowed. Mars moves quietly, carrying memories of ancient water. Jupiter looms vast, its gravity shaping the entire system, protecting inner worlds from wandering debris. Saturn's rings hum silently, a frozen echo of motion. Uranus and Neptune trace distant paths, slow and dreamlike, far from the sun's warmth yet forever connected to it. Distance does not break belonging. As these orbits continue, you feel something else soften, the need to control your own movement towards sleep. Just as planets do not force their path, you do not need to force rest. Gravity does the work. Each breath now feels guided, in and out, like a small orbit, returning again and again to calm. The heartbeat settles into a slower cadence, no longer marking time, but dissolving into it. The solar system's greatest secret is not its complexity, but its patience. Nothing demands immediate resolution. Everything unfolds on scales so vast that hurry becomes meaningless. Your worries shrink in this perspective, not because they are dismissed, but because they are no longer urgent. They can wait in their own distant orbits. You are held. You are supported. You are allowed to be still. The sun continues to anchor everything without awareness, without effort, and in its quiet certainty, it teaches you that rest is not something you must earn. It is something you are already part of. Let the breath slow further. Let the body sink more deeply. Let gravity finish what thought cannot. You are resting inside a cosmic agreement that has never failed. Sleep approaches not from ahead, but from within. As gravity continues to hold you effortlessly, something even deeper begins to emerge. A familiarity with the dark itself. Not the dark of fear or absence, but the dark from which everything once came. The kind of darkness that existed before the first light, before the sun ignited, before motion had direction. This darkness does not erase. It remembers. The solar system was born here, inside a vast molecular cloud, cold and silent, drifting through the galaxy. Within that darkness, dust gathered slowly, particles touched without urgency. Gravity whispered instead of shouted, and over time so long it cannot be imagined, the sun began to form. Creation did not begin with fire. It began with rest. You feel this truth settle into you now. Like a deep exhale you didn't know you were holding. The darkness behind your closed eyes becomes softer, more welcoming. It is no longer something to pass through, but something to sink into. Just as the early solar system rested inside shadow before light emerged, your own mind is returning to a pre-thought state, a place beneath words, beneath images, beneath effort. The night sky around you feels vast and still. Stars are distant, quiet witnesses. Between them stretches an ocean of dark matter and silence, shaping motion without ever being seen. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, guiding everything gently. Your own nervous system begins to mirror this hidden guidance. Signals slow, alertness dissolves, the constant scanning of the world fades away. There is no danger here, no task waiting in the dark, only support. The sun, too, knows this darkness intimately. Even now as it shines, it carries the memory of collapse and quiet within its core. Every photon it releases is born from pressure so complete that movement nearly stopped. Light itself emerges from stillness. Sleep follows the same rule. It does not arrive through activity, but through surrender, through the willingness to return to the dark, where nothing needs definition. Your body grows heavier, not unpleasantly so, but in the way a blanket settles perfectly into place. Limbs feel distant, as though they belong more to the bed than to awareness. Sensation fades into comfort. Thoughts attempt to form, then dissolve before becoming clear. This is not distraction. It is the natural dimming of consciousness, like stars fading as dawn approaches. Except here, dawn is deep rest. The solar system continues its motion in the background, but you no longer need to follow it. Its work is done for you. The night shift has taken over. Darkness here is not the absence of light. It is the presence of peace. You are allowed to forget your name for a while, allowed to forget time, allowed to forget even this journey. The same darkness that once cradled the birth of the sun now cradles you. Patient, vast, and endlessly safe. Rest deeper. Sink further. Let the night hold you completely. There's nothing to reach for now, only something to be carried by. By now, the sense of being an individual listener has softened almost completely. What remains is awareness, without edges, calm, slow, and deeply settled. You are no longer listening for meaning. The words move through you the way a distant tide moves beneath a sleeping surface. Far beyond the familiar paths of the planets, the solar system stretches into regions rarely imagined. Here, time feels especially wide. Motion slows until it nearly disappears. This is the realm of distant guardians, ancient structures shaped not by urgency but by patience. The sun's influence reaches even here, thinning gently as it travels outward. The solar wind fades, blending with interstellar space, forming a boundary so soft it is impossible to define. There is no wall, no ending, only a gradual release. This teaches a quiet truth. Safety does not always come from enclosure. Sometimes it comes from spaciousness. Your mind, too, is becoming spacious now. Thoughts no longer arrive in lines or sequences. They appear briefly, then dissolve into the wide dark around them. You do not need to follow them. They are not messages. They are simply echoes losing their shape. Beyond the planets lies the Oort cloud, a vast spherical halo of icy bodies, drifting at the very edge of the sun's gravitational reach. These ancient remnants move so slowly that a single orbit can take millions of years. They are in no hurry to return. They are content to remain where they are. Nothing about them is urgent. Nothing about them is incomplete. You may feel something resonate deeply here. A permission to stop circling your own thoughts, to stop returning again and again to the same concerns. Just for this night, you can rest at the edge of awareness, far from the center of effort. The sun does not pull these distant objects tightly. Its gravity becomes a suggestion rather than a command, and yet the connection remains. Even at the farthest reach, nothing is truly lost. You are allowed to drift without fear of disappearing. Your breathing is now so slow and quiet. It feels like it belongs to the room rather than to you. Each inhale barely lifts. Each exhale melts gently away. The body has entered its own deep rhythm, one guided by ancient cycles, not conscious choice. Inside you, repair begins quietly. Cells renew. The brain sorts and releases. The nervous system lowers its guard, reassured that the night is safe. This is the sun's hidden gift, not just light for growth, but darkness for restoration. Not just energy for movement, but time for stillness. Every system shaped by the sun has learned when to turn inward. You are doing that now. There is no story left to hold, no future to prepare for, no past to revisit. The solar system continues in its vast, slow harmony, but it no longer asks for your attention. It has carried you as far as you need to go. Now, it lets you rest. The edges of awareness blur further. Words may lose meaning, images may flicker and fade. This is not a problem. This is the doorway. You are crossing into a depth where language cannot follow, where only sensation remains, and even that begins to soften. Stay here, drift here. Sleep grows thicker and warmer around you. Now even the idea of distance has disappeared. Near and far no longer exist. There is only a gentle sense of being suspended, not floating, not falling, but resting inside something immeasurably vast and calm. The sun is no longer perceived as a star. It has become a memory of warmth. This is what happens when awareness sinks deep enough. Objects lose their outlines, concepts soften, and what remains is essence. The sun's essence is not fire, but continuity. A steady presence that has endured so long it no longer needs to announce itself. Fire, when given enough time, becomes quiet. Inside the sun, reactions continue as they always have, but you are no longer aware of process, only of result. A background sense of safety, a subtle assurance that energy exists, that warmth exists, that life is sustained without you having to witness it. Your own consciousness follows the same path. Thought dissolves first, then imagery, then even the sense of listening begins to thin. What remains is a simple, deep state of being. This is not unconsciousness. It is pre-consciousness, a return to the place where awareness existed before it learned to name itself, a place the body remembers from every night of deep, dreamless sleep. The solar system once passed through a similar phase. After the sun ignited, there was chaos for a time. Collisions, heat, turbulence. But slowly, very slowly, things settled. Orbits stabilized. Debris found paths. Motion smoothed into rhythm. Chaos always gives way to order when time is allowed to work. Inside you, the same settling is happening now. Any remaining tension is not being forced away. It is simply losing relevance. Like heat dispersing into a vast space, it thins until it is no longer felt. Your jaw is loose. Your brow is smooth. Your breath is barely noticeable. You are no longer holding yourself together. Gravity, time, and biology are doing that for you. The sun's light, which once seemed so important, now feels secondary. Darkness has taken its rightful place, not as the opposite of light, but as its companion. Light expands. Darkness receives. Sleep is darkness receiving awareness. The deepest nights on Earth exist because the planet turns away from the sun without fear. It trusts that the sun will still be there when it turns back. You can trust this too. You do not need to keep watch. You do not need to stay alert. Nothing requires your presence right now. The solar system has carried you to a depth where guidance is no longer necessary. From here, sleep unfolds on its own, like a tide that no longer needs the moon to pull it. If thoughts arise, they drift without hooks. If images appear, they fade without story. If nothing happens at all, that is perfect. This is the quiet core of rest. Fire has become memory. Memory has become warmth. Warmth has become nothing at all. And that nothing is gentle. Stay here as long as you like. Time no longer counts. You are already sleeping more deeply than you realize. There comes a moment in every deep night when even drifting becomes unnecessary. Movement has already done its work. Guidance has already carried you far enough. What remains is a threshold, not a place you cross, but a place that gently absorbs you. You are here now. Awareness has thinned into something barely perceptible, like mist resting on still water. There is no longer a sense of listening from one point to another. Sound, silence, and space feel woven together, indistinguishable. The solar system rests with you. The sun, once the center of motion and warmth, has fully transformed into an underlying presence. Not an object, not a force, but a certainty. A quiet knowledge that energy exists somewhere, that warmth is possible, that continuity does not require attention. This is the same certainty your body holds as it sleeps. You are no longer managing breath, no longer holding posture, no longer maintaining thought. The systems within you have taken over completely, just as they were designed to do. Heart, lungs, nerves, and cells move in ancient cooperation, guided by rhythms shaped under the same sun for millions of years. Nothing is out of place. In the vastness of space, there are regions so still that even time seems to slow. Between stars, between systems, between galaxies, matter thins until motion becomes almost theoretical. And yet, even there, existence continues quietly. This is where you are resting now. Not nowhere, but somewhere beyond effort. The mind no longer needs to produce images. Dreams, if they come, will rise naturally, without narrative, without structure. And if they do not come, that too is perfect. Dreamless sleep is not empty. It is full of repair, full of restoration, full of silent intelligence. The sun itself knows this depth. There are moments, even in a star's life, when nothing changes perceptibly. Millions of years can pass with the same steady output, the same calm burning, the same quiet balance. These are not stagnant periods. They are sustaining ones. Your sleep tonight belongs to this category. Nothing dramatic needs to happen. Nothing needs to be resolved. Rest alone is enough. The universe does not rush you forward. It does not pull you backward. It simply holds the moment open and allows you to remain. If there is any last trace of awareness, let it soften now. Let it rest the way dust rests in the far reaches of space. Suspended, unbothered, free from direction. You are not falling asleep anymore. You are sleeping. The solar system continues, unseen and unheard, perfectly content to move without witness. And you continue too, deeper, slower, quieter, accompanied by ancient fire that no longer burns, but simply remembers. From here, the final chapter will arrive, like morning light arrives on a sleeping world, gently, without urgency, when it is time. For now, there is only this: stillness, safety, and the deep, unbroken rest of the universe breathing with you. There is almost nothing left to follow. The words you hear now are like distant starlight, reaching you softly, even if your eyes are already closed within. You are resting in the deepest layer of the night, where awareness no longer needs a story, only a feeling of being held. The solar system feels far away and deeply intimate at the same time, as if it exists both outside you and within you. The sun, once a blazing presence, is now a quiet memory of warmth, a sense rather than a sight. This is how endings arrive in the universe. Not suddenly, not loudly, but as a gentle thinning of intensity. One day, far in the future, the sun will exhaust the hydrogen at its core. It will expand, glowing softer and larger, before releasing its outer layers into space. These layers will drift outward, carrying the sun's history with them, seeding the cosmos with elements shaped by fire. Nothing is lost. Everything becomes something else. This is not a story of destruction. It is a story of rest. Even stars are allowed to change. Even fire is allowed to quiet. And when the sun finally settles into its final form, it will not disappear into nothingness. It will become a small, dense remnant, calm, stable, enduring. A long rest after a long giving. Let this knowledge settle into you now. You do not have to remain bright forever. You do not have to stay warm for everyone. You are allowed to dim, to quiet, to sleep. The solar system will continue its motion without effort. Planets will trace their paths. Moons will turn, dust will drift, and you too will continue. Not through action, but through rest. The deepest mystery the sun offers is not how it burns, but how it trusts time. It does not rush toward its future. It moves into it patiently, one moment at a time. You can do the same. Your awareness now floats on the edge of dreams, where images form without logic, where sensations blur into gentle impressions. There is no need to follow them. Dreams know where to go on their own. The night around you is complete and kind. Nothing is required, nothing is missing, nothing is wrong. The sun's influence still reaches you, not as light, but as the quiet confidence that morning will come again. Sleep is safe because waking is inevitable, just not now. And now, the journey gently dissolves into silence. Epilogue. Thank you for resting here, beneath the unseen warmth of the sun and among the hidden harmonies of the solar system. May this cosmic quiet remain with you as you sleep, carrying you gently through the night. There is nothing left to imagine, nothing left to listen for, only the soft continuation of breath and the deep, peaceful dark. Good night.